All right. Yay. Go see if you can hear me. Okay. Yay. All right. Okay. We are live. This is pretty cool. And if you're out there and you want to say hello so I know who's here, that would be really, really cool. Ah, nice. Hi, Stefan. And I have two Stefans, Stefan and Stefan Azar. Yay. All right, great. So just going to wait for a few more people to arrive for our session today on warm ups, the do's and the don'ts. I see Rachel. Hello, Rachel. Good to have you here with us. And you can see all my diagrams. I hope you can see that clearly. We're going to be covering some stuff today. Jessica, nice to see you. Just all the important things about warming up and why we do it. And we're just going to go through so many other different things that I'm super excited about that I haven't even added into my course yet. So these things are really, really important. And, also, I'm giving away um, one free course to one lucky winner today. And also, I'm giving away several lessons for free to people who want to send me their emails with a certain subject. And we'll talk about that later on during the class. So, yay, we have like a little bit of a party starting here. I like it. I like it. I'm going to send a text to my engineer and just give me a second to do that. And that way, yay, I can have my door closed so I can't hear his feedback loop because he's mixing in the other room. Okay, so let's see. Yes, we are now 5 people. Very nice. Okay, we're growing. We're growing. Today, you can ask me any questions that you want, which is really cool because even though we're just talking about why we're warming up, how to warm up, and why we need to cool our voices down, we're going to cover a whole expanse of all of the things that are going on with the voice. Because I think that one of the things that most of us don't understand is it's just not this little tiny vocal cords here and not the diaphragm. It's so much more, so many more muscles involved and things that we don't think about. And another thing that we don't really think about is training the voice like an athlete would train. And that's something that's really exciting for me. And that's what I really want to kind of instill in people is that there's so much going on physically when you make sound that you take for granted. And all of these diagrams I'm going to take you through. And hopefully, you're just going to be like, what? Are you kidding me? Why didn't I think of this before? No wonder why I'm losing my voice. No wonder why I'm not strong enough. No wonder why I'm not as consistent as I want to be. And it all starts with this thing about warming up. So, I did want to ask you questions today. So, let me see. I have like a whole bunch of notes here today to you guys. So, um, da dun dun dun. Okay. Honestly, answer me in the chat. Do you warm up your voice? Like, just do you warm up your voice? Do you have a warm up routine? Is it something that you don't think about? So, how many people just, oh, I'm just going to turn on a song and I'm going to practice singing and I think that's training or getting better. These are things that I want to know. Okay, so Rachel says 99% of the time. I do believe you on that one, Rachel. Rachel is one of my students, and so I do know that she does love to warm up. So that's super, super important. Okay. So who else warms up? Anyone? If you don't say no, I want the truth. Just put it in there. Just put it in the chat. Let's see. What's Jessica gonna say? Uh-huh. Jessica, yes. Okay, good. So Jessica warms up. So she's that's another one of my students. I know my students because they warm up. So Stephen Edmund Jr., um, are you a singer? That's my question to you. Let's see what Stefan has to say about that. I haven't heard from him yet. I'm not trying to shame anyone. Okay. But it is super so important. So some of the things that we're going to go over today are um, all of the muscles that are involved. You don't have to remember what they are. Okay. But you need to get a good look at them so your mind can go, oh, wow, there's just so much more to this than I thought. Okay. And then the next thing that I really want to discuss is why do all of them have to have some form of warm up? Okay. And then we're going to associate that with what happens to the body when you're an athlete and you do not warm up and you attempt to do something that is very, very physical, and how lactic acid starts to build up in the vocal folds, and or the other muscles that you're not aware of that you're using. So as a vocalist, there's so much going on from literally the bottom of the rib cage, which would be here, all the way up to the top of the head, which would be this lovely lady here. Okay. So it's quite the journey, when it comes to the voice and like all the things that are going on. There's a lot of facial muscles, there's a lot of rib cage muscles, and um, stuff that's operating within the voice that we don't ever think about. You know, we just go, oh, I'm just going to sing a song. And that's great. Yeah, I'm going to sing a song. But if you just go, let's see, let's take a good one. Oh, okay. Oh, little Ray is here too with mom's name, Sandra. Hi, little Ray. How are you, honey? It's good to see you. I know that you have been working really, really hard to get past, I think, module 4. And that's really good. That's really, really good. But if you don't get past module 4, don't worry about it because these things come with time. Oh, love the smile. Very nice. Okay. So oh, let me ask Little Ray, do you warm your voice up now that you're a student with me? Do you ever like warm up your voice to kind of like get singing on something? And answer that when you want to. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Like imagine that you're a gymnast. Okay, everybody's a gymnast here. Okay, and so as a gymnast, if you go in and you want to do a floor routine and you don't warm up, so many injuries can occur on just that one thing that you do. Okay. You just walk out there and you just boom and you do that. And you don't realize that because your muscles are not stretched, warmed up with fresh blood in them, and then limbered out. Okay. That that triple flip, it's gonna hurt. Okay. That back is gonna hurt. Those hamstrings are gonna hurt. Okay. So take an average person who's pretty good at doing, let's say they're Sandra. Okay, little Rachel, she warms up. I knew that. I knew she would do that. So I can do a cartwheel pretty good, even at my age. Not going to tell you. But say I was half the age that I am now, and I can do a cartwheel. And I mentioned I can do a cartwheel. And someone says, I'll give you $50 right now if you could do 20 cartwheels in a row. So I said, oh, great, great, great. I'm going to do 20 cartwheels in a row. I do it. I do the 20 cartwheels, you know. I almost fall down a couple times because I'm dizzy. Hey, the next day, I'm going to be so sore. Think about this. So sore because when I do a cartwheel, I have no idea what muscles are working. You know, I'm not a gymnast. So I'm just going to go and do it. But this muscle, that muscle, this wrist, you know, all of those things, they're working. I'm not aware of it. I'm not saying, "Oh, goodness gracious, I need to warm up my legs. I need to warm up my arms. I need to warm up this." I don't think about it. I go and I do the 20 cartwheels because I want the $50, right? So the next day, I feel like I've been run over by a truck. Yes, totally. My wrists are killing me. Okay. My arms are super sore. I think I might even hurt my Achilles tendon landing because I haven't done 20 cartwheels in a row in a very long time. And I haven't warmed up my muscles and I haven't done the conditioning that it takes. Hi, William. It's nice to have you with us. So I just wanted to give you a shout out. I see you there in the chat. Yeah, so we are discussing, the what happens when we don't warm up our muscles. So I was in CrossFit a few years back and I really, really loved CrossFit, and I started out, I couldn't do anything. Okay. And the first day, I think that we had to run around the building a couple of times. And then I had to do an insane amount of sit ups. I don't even know how many it was, but it was so many that the next day I was sick to my stomach. I couldn't eat. I couldn't get out of bed without rolling out of bed because your abdominal muscles are used for literally everything that you do. Okay. So I was really sick. I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't eat. I couldn't do anything. And I had this big bruise right here on my upper abdominal wall. I don't know what happened, but it was black and blue and it was swollen. So because I was there, I'm at CrossFit. I'm like, oh, it's day one. I'm going to lose so much weight in 6 weeks. It was a 6 week challenge, and I thought, oh, I've got this. I didn't have this. I didn't have a clue what was going on, but I know I was black and blue like you wouldn't believe and sick to my stomach and I couldn't eat for a few days. So that's probably why I lost so much weight the first week at CrossFit. But even so, anybody who goes to a gym class, right? You go in, right? You want to get in great shape. Okay. Hey, I want to get in great shape. I'm going to the gym. Everything's going to be great. So, what do? You don't walk in the door and like load 95 pounds on your 45-pound bar and start doing deadlifts. Your back is going to be torn out. Your hamstrings are going to be torn out. Your glutes are going to be torn out. Your abs, because, your abs is your core, and you're doing a deadlift. All of these things make no sense to do without warming up our muscles. And that's a problem that I notice that a lot of us vocalists don't really think about. First of all, I want to say raise your hand if you know that your voice is an instrument and that you play it. Give me a little heart or a smile or an emoji of some kind in the chat. So yes, okay, Rachel's like, I know that it's an instrument. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not playing an instrument. Okay. And if you want to get that instrument, okay, Jessica, yes, thumbs up. If you want to get that instrument in condition, okay, you're not just going to go and sing a song and say, hey, this is going to be great. I'm going to sing Ariana Grande. I'm going to sing Demi Lovato. I'm going to sing, AC/DC, whatever it is that you're into, because I love all kinds of music. And huge grunge fan here, by the way. Is anybody a grunge fan? Oh, William says I always warm up. Yes. Nice. Excellent. Okay. Perfect. So, another thing about warming up is, do we know what we're warming up as a vocalist? How much do you know about your entire instrument? Be honest with yourself. So, um do you know how your rib cage opens? Question number 1. Do you know what muscles open up your rib cage? Question number 2. Do you know how your diaphragm works? Question number 3, and what it does and doesn't do. Do you know oh, wait, hold on. Oh, Rachel says not until okay, thanks, Rachel. Do you know how many facial muscles are involved in shaping the sound that you create? I'll give you the answer to that in a couple of minutes. Do you know the muscles? How many muscles are surrounding the larynx in your throat, which we are going to talk about today, that can seize up if not warmed up properly, and or seize up if you're not using you're breathing your rib cage properly to support your diaphragm, and your abdominal walls get involved. So I know it's like a million questions, right? But I really want you to ask as many questions as you want to, because I'm here to answer all of that stuff. And I didn't want to turn this into an anatomy lesson, but I realized that when I was putting this whole thing together, if we knew every single muscle and what it did and what we have to warm up, we would have so much more respect for actually getting all of it done so that we don't hurt any of it, because there's just so much going on. So, does that make sense to everyone? I want to see some hearts. I think I want to see hearts over in the chat. I don't know why. I just do. Does it work like that? Because this is my first live. So I'm not like, it's not like Facebook where you can do hearts and emojis. Oh, Jessica, thank you for the heart. Oh, I love you. Boom, boom, boom. All right, cool. Okay, who wants to win a free voice lesson with me during this class? Like a whole 1 hour, one-on-one. If you're local, you can come in person. Very nice. Who is that gangster right there? Right in that. I get that. Okay. So let's start with um, going through some of these. Okay. Now, how many people have heard the phrase sing from the diaphragm? Please, every single person that has heard that, give me some love in the chat. I want to see this. Rachel's like, I can't find the heart. I can't find the heart emoji either, Rachel. So every single person who's ever heard the phrase sing from the diaphragm, I want to hear a shout out from. Oh, Jesse, thank you for the heart. Very nice. I got 2 hearts from you today. That's nice. Katrina, hey, welcome. Williams, like truth, truth, truth. Okay. Yes. And I have. All right. So I'm going to say something, and I hope it doesn't blow your mind. You cannot sing from the diaphragm. It does not sing. Nope, it doesn't. It's a muscle and it does not make a sound. How many people know that? Rachel, you're so adorbs. Okay, so yeah, so the diaphragm does not sing. And people say, oh, you got to warm up all your muscles. Yeah, I'm going to tell you the truth. The diaphragm is always warmed up. The diaphragm works 24 hours a day. You do not need to worry about your diaphragm. Every breath you take, along with a lot of other things that you do that I do not want to discuss, because it has nothing to do with singing and it's kind of gross. The diaphragm is a very, very busy muscle, one of the strongest muscles in the body, if not the strongest muscle in the body. So the deal is this: all it does for the purposes of singing is regulate the airstream by lifting on the lungs inside the rib cage. So here's your diaphragm. You can see it's really, really large. It's not here like some people think it is. It is underneath the entire oh, that's the wrong one. Rib cage. Okay. So basically, it just lifts on the lungs. Okay. So it's not like we have to warm up the diaphragm. But what we do have to warm up, and what is very, very important, is this: the rib cage. Okay. So our rib cage is really the most important set of muscles, the intercostal muscles. There are 3 sets. There is the outer, the inner, and the innermost. Okay, this is a cross section of that. When the ribs open, it's when you're breathing. Okay, so I know that when I go into a recording session or I go to a rehearsal and I haven't done my rib cage exercises and done my stretches and done my lip trills and my facial massages and things like that, I'm risking kind of hurting myself. And I'm going to tell you a true story that happened 2 weeks ago. I was at rehearsal. Okay, this is just an interjection. I was like, oh, I don't have time to warm up. And I got to go to rehearsal. And I haven't sung with the band since February 27th, 2020. Yeah. So it was time to get back with the band because we're all vaccinated, right? And I think, oh, okay, well, I'm going to be fine. I'm just going to sing like the really soft songs at first. And this is me. Like, I'm the warm up queen. And what do? I think it's gonna be fine, right? So I go and everybody's set up and everybody's doing everything. We have a new bass player and he comes in and he doesn't know the repertoire. So he's like, "Oh, do you know this song?" And he starts playing this really cool song that I love. And I don't know if any of you will know it, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's an old staple singer song and it's called I'll Take You There. William, you probably know what it is. Okay. So it's like really hard soul song, right? And this guy's jamming it and it's the first song. And I'm like, crap. So I start singing it and I'm like 3/4 of the way through and I know I'm going, this is not the song that I should be singing right now because I did not warm up. And then, of course, we go on to this really complicated song by Shaka Khan and I cracked because I was not warmed up. Okay. And I stopped the band and I said, wait a minute, hold on a second. So in this song, right? There's like this high G, okay? I wasn't warmed up. I think it might even gone to an A. And I was singing it was called Sweet Thing. So some of you may or may not know that. And I cracked. Like I don't even know this guy, the new bass player. I hadn't warmed up and I cracked. And I was like, "Stop." And I was like, "Hold on a second." And I turn around and I go to sing the note just to make sure I can sing it, right? So I get it and I go, "Okay, I can still hit that note. All right, I'm fine. Continue." But it was cuz I didn't warm up. And so like by the end of like 40 minutes, my voice was toast. Okay? I had spent a year developing this course, going through COVID, and I didn't warm up, and I hadn't been singing with a band. That's why I'm doing this class today, because I'm eating my own crow by not following my own advice. So I'm back to doing what I need to do and warming up the muscles that I need to warm up. Okay. Okay. All right. So the first thing that you want to warm up. Oh, wait. Oh, I have a story to tell you. Hold on. This is a really good one. Hold on. Going through the da. Okay. Let's talk about the three things. Three number one reasons, I don't make this up, that people lose or damage their voice. Number one is not warming up. Number one is not warming up. Number two is pushing and straining. And number three is just overuse, like due to touring and performing, which I can totally relate to. And anyone who's been on the road can totally relate to. Yes. Forever Young. Hey, welcome. Good to have you here with us. All right. So now let's talk about Adele. Let's talk about Sam Smith. Let's talk about Megan Trainor. Let's talk about John Mayer. These are all people that have well documented issues with losing their voice. And I'm going to tell you why. So in May of 2011, Adele was diagnosed the first time with a vocal hemorrhage. Okay. So she rested and recovered. That's fine. And then these are direct quotes too from articles that I read. Soon after she was diagnosed with another hemorrhage, this was her quote: "My voice yet again went. It just switched off." Um, she said in her blog, she explained that her voice became weaker and weaker until eventually it broke. Like it just broke, you know? She says, she goes on to say, despite Despite my best efforts, I was not able to regain my voice's complete strength. Now, in an interview and in many interviews, she went on to admit that she had never warmed up a day in her life. She just never even thought about it. Okay. How is that possible? Right? You're like the biggest singer in the world and your voice is incredible and you've never warmed up. So I know, right, Jessica? I know. Aha. Hey, Lucia, Forever Young 41. Hey, from Oz. You see, we got an Aussie in the house. Good to see you, girl. Great singer, by the way. So, back to what we were doing. Okay. So, I don't warm up, right? What do you think happens when you don't warm up? Okay. If you don't warm up and you go to do something, you can risk injury, as we talked about. And in addition to that, when you work your muscles really, really hard, you build up this thing called lactic acid. And I'm sure you've all heard about it because when you work out and you get really, really sore, you're like, oh, my muscles have all this lactic acid in it, blah, 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 blah. But take your vocal folds. I'm going to show you some pictures here. Let's take the big one. Okay. So this is a huge cross section of the vocal folds, right? So this would be like your larynx, right? If I put my hand all around my larynx, right? This is the front. This is the back. Okay. It would be like this, right? Okay. So if you were looking down your head this way, you would be looking at your vocal cords. Okay. So in here, you'll see this is the vestibular vocal cord. So that's all that, I don't know, just more muscle that's in between this and this. Okay. Now, when your vocal folds do come together, blah, 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 I'm going to show you some more pictures of that. This is why I have all these cool diagrams. This is a really good one. Rachel's like lactic acid. Yes, Rachel, good girl. Okay, so this is the hyoid bone, okay, the laryngeal bone here on the outside, okay, and this is the inner, okay, cricoid. And then this little rubber band here, that's a vocal fold, that's a vocal fold. These right here at the backside, those are the arytenoid cartilages. Now those come together like this. You see how this part, or what you call this part here, comes together to form this. These guys touch. That is creating sound, okay? And so then this gets a little bit looser or tighter depending on what the pitch is. They're gentle. So imagine just these muscles alone are not going to cut it for singing. Okay. It takes a village to get everything working correctly. So maybe you don't know about all the other muscles, right? So, say I want to do that cartwheel, and I think the only thing I need to warm up is my wrists. That's not enough. Yeah, I have to warm up my whole body. You have to warm up your whole instrument, the entire thing. Okay. That means the rib cage, the intercostal muscles, breathing, the neck. All of this needs to be relaxed. All these muscles need fresh blood in them. Your face, because it's making all these, cool shapes to get you to sing in your hard palate or your soft palate, and on and on and on. So, oh, Jessica says, my throat hurts just thinking about the amount of damage. I know. I can imagine. Okay. So this rubber band here, so it's kind of like this rubber band here, right? So these guys say you have no idea what's happening with your body and you're just going to go and you're going to sing and I'm going to be like, I don't know, Steven Tyler, and I'm just gonna sing and like crazy, crazy, crazy. Your vocal folds are coming together and they're whacking each other and they're working really hard and you're blasting all this air through them because maybe you haven't kept your rib cage open and maybe you're pushing from your abdomen and you haven't warmed anything up, right? So maybe after 30 minutes, these vocal folds, these skinny little things, become inflamed and really, really irritated. Okay. Now, these little vocal folds are covered with millions of hairs and they secrete moisture to keep your voice healthy, but you're just slamming them together, right? All the lactic acid comes in and it puffs up and it gets locked in there, and these guys become puffy and it hurts. And did you know that the number one way to get rid of lactic acid is deep breathing? Yeah. So that's for any muscle in the body. You can do deep breathing like yoga to get rid of lactic acid everywhere in your body because it releases it into your bloodstream, which can give you a lot of energy, which is why the body does create lactic acid. Let me put my little folds back up here so that we can move on to some other things. Okay. Does anybody have any questions at this point that I can answer or know any funny jokes? Hey, Jessica's like, exactly. Ooh, I love it. I love it. They say the voice is not an instrument. I say I am the instrument, baby. You know it. You know you are the instrument. I am turning my fan on because it is my hot flash machine and it is time. Okay. All right. So now we have all these muscles. We're going to learn about all of them. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about why Sam Smith also hemorrhaged his voice. He also never warmed up his voice, and he uses his voice very aggressively. Okay. And so there's a couple things that you can do. Besides warming up your voice, you have to know the parts that need to help support the diaphragm. We already know that the diaphragm does not make noise. Okay. It does a lot of things, it just regulates the airstream. Okay. So if we take a look at the diaphragm, which we talked about was usually always warmed up, right? Because you're breathing every minute, right? So it's here. But when the rib cage opens, it comes down to here. Okay. And you'll see that with this, the lungs are sitting, this is your diaphragm, all the way to the back of the body. For those of you who've had like lessons with me and we've taken our hands and kind of walked all around the rib cage all the way to the back, we know that the diaphragm is this huge 360 thing. It's always warm, believe me, but it does lift and act upon the lungs, which are filled with the air, and that is what regulates the airstream to the vocal folds. And when the air passes through the vocal folds, which are covered with millions of hairs, it causes what's called an oscillation. And depending on how tight or loose the vocal folds are, that creates the pitch of the oscillation, and that's how pitch is made. So that is one thing. Okay, breathing. Now what opens up the diaphragm is the rib cage. This is number one. This opens up the lungs. This brings the diaphragm down. These are the number 1, 2, and 3 muscles that need to be warmed up for a healthy voice. Period. End of story. Number 1. So that's the first thing you warm up is this. I'm going to do some exercises today too to get that rolling. Okay. So the first line of defense is what's responsible for breathing, what's responsible for supporting the diaphragm, because the diaphragm is responsible for regulating the airstream to the vocal folds. So without these muscles warmed up first, everything else fails. Okay. Now let's put our little rib cage back. Ooh, I have this lady here. We'll talk about her in a minute. Okay. So another person that I want to talk about that had chronic vocal troubles, and I'm absolutely certain this person didn't warm up, but in addition to that, is whispering. Okay. Whispering. And I'm going to cite a 2006 study concluded that more than 2/3 of people who whisper are straining their voice and their vocal cords while doing so. And here is the likeness, like in the case of John Mayer's chronic vocal troubles. So when you are letting your ribs fall, okay, so your ribs are open, diaphragm's down, regulating the airstream. When your ribs fall, that's just all air. So if you're talking like this and you're going like this, you might as well take a blow dryer and kind of like, you know, stick it down your throat and like dry your vocal cords out because that's what's happening, you know? So that's why the ribs have to warm up first because we have to be conscious of the ability of the ribs to help the diaphragm support. Okay, so that diaphragm is so important because it's just going to send the right amount of airstream. So, bam, these get warmed up first. Okay, what gets warmed up second? You're going to be surprised. It's actually not your voice. It's actually relaxing the face and throat muscles. Okay. And that's where this lady comes into well. Anybody questions? Because deep breathing is meditation, relaxation. I agree 100%. Yes. So look at all these muscles. There are 58 muscles and tendons in the face utilized for creating vowels and consonants. That's a lot, right? You know how much tension you can have in your face? It's a lot. Do you know how many people that I have to say, drop your jaw? Raise your hand if I've told you to drop your jaw like 1,000 times if you train with me. I say, relax your jaw. Okay. So the jaw is this muscle right here. Okay. This is the one all the freaking time, Rachel says. Okay. This muscle is, believe me, the second strongest muscle in the body. This one, number one, number two, the jaw. So a lot of people suffer from TMJ. Yeah, Jessica. You suffer from TMJ, okay? It's really stressed out, right? So you can really feel how tense this muscle is. You can do this with me. So if I take my fingers and I put it like kind of right here, right at the pivot point, right? And I close my teeth really tight, I can feel everything here is tense. Do this with me. Everything is tense. It's very uncomfortable. Even this, it even tenses the muscles on the front of the face. And people do this a lot and they actually clench their teeth and or grind, right? So this muscle is really, really, really tense. So when I say open the jaw, everything relaxes and you can completely feel the difference. So part of warming up properly is really understanding how to take your fingers and soften the muscle here in the jaw and move it down the face. Okay. So, secondarily to warming up the rib cage, we move on to the jaw because it's the second strongest muscle. Okay. And we really need to relax that and go, ah, that relaxes the tongue and like every other one of these muscles in the throat that can grab and constrict your breathing and constrict your throat. So imagine I'm a rib cage, I'm open, I'm a diaphragm, I'm regulating the airstream. But what if I'm not regulating the airstream? What if my ribs are falling and there's no motion? All these muscles here constrict around the larynx. This is the larynx. Do you ever see people who are singing and their neck is like this? That's crazy, right? Touch that. Do that. It's like, how can you sing like that? Many people do. What does that do to the larynx? It's crushing the larynx. It's trying to actually regulate the airstream that you're not regulating because you're not keeping your ribs open. So, what's the next section of stuff that we need to relax? This. So, we warm up the ribs, we massage and stretch the face. We massage and stretch the neck. And lastly, we move on to the vocal cords. Now that we have everything relaxed and stress free, we want to bring in all that beautiful, fresh relaxation and blood to the vocal cords, and then we can warm them up last. The most delicate part of the section. And so that's the progression of a proper warm up. Rib cage, okay, through deep breathing, jaw muscle through deep relaxation, neck, deep relaxation, and then vocal cords in that order. Does that make sense? Anyone? Got a lot of sayings over here. I love it. Okay. So yeah, so that's like the proper warm up goal. And so when doing a warm up, we also want to make sure that we understand that, like, say, let's go back to the gym for a second, right? Let's go back to CrossFit. Let's talk about that. So you go to CrossFit, right? And you don't go into the gym and be like, oh, I'm going to do a split. You know, you're going to rip your groin apart, right? Tear a hamstring, blah, blah, blah. You're going to do a lot of damage if you just start stretching. So why would you just start stretching your vocal cords? You don't do that. Okay. You have to do the little things to get it ready before you do that. Okay. So if, for instance, I would go to CrossFit and the first thing that they would say is, okay, drop to the floor, do 10 push-ups, then stand up, do 10 squats. Great. Then go to the bar and do 10 pull-ups and then run 400 meters. Now, what that's doing is a lot. Okay. So the push-ups are warming up the core, right? And warming up your arms. And the squats are warming up your quads and your buttocks. Okay. And then the pull ups are grabbing the arms. And then the run is warming up your entire rib cage and getting you breathing and really starting to get that blood pumping, um, you know, throughout the muscles in the body so that they're ready to now do a gentle stretch. That's why. Warm it up, relax it, warm it up, relax it, warm it up, stretch it. Okay. So stretching comes after the warm up. So the last thing I'm going to say is, hey, let's do a vocal stretch like this, That's not how I'm going to warm you up. First, I want to get everything else here warmed up. And then I want to do little things like, so one of my favorite warm ups is I hate running, by the way. I love to jump rope. I love to speed rope. Okay. So I'll do the push-ups, I'll do the squats, and then I'll do the pull-ups, but then I like to jump rope, okay? Because that's getting my cardio going. It's getting fresh oxygen and blood to all of my muscles throughout my body. And so we have to do the same thing with the rib cage in order to get that going. I wanted to quote a couple things, by the way. Hey, Chico, how's it going from California? Good to have you here. Sorry you missed probably like a bunch of stuff, but there'll be a replay on all this. And we're just talking about um, why we have to warm up all the different parts of our instrument because we don't really think about it that much, but we need to think about it and we need to do it properly. We can't just like run in and start doing crazy stuff. So I do want to talk a little bit more about John Mayer's issue because one of my students does have a similar issue to John Mayer. So John Mayer does a lot of whispering, and it's very, very tough on the vocal folds. Okay, it's very tough because it's very drying out on the chords as they come together. So let's get back to this guy here. So here's the vocal cords coming together, right? And they're when they come together, literally they're pretty much touching, except for the oscillation of the air that's going through it, which causes the sound wave to be created, right? But if all you're doing is pushing them apart when they want to be like this and you're going, ah. So all those hairs, the vocal folds are covered with millions of hairs and they secrete mucus to keep the vocal cords moist and healthy. That's why singing breathy is not really good for your voice. Although a lot of people prefer that sound, it's very difficult for your voice because it dries the hairs out. And then when the hairs come together repeatedly and they're rubbing with each other, that causes friction, and that friction can cause nodes. Okay. As those hairs come together, they dry out, they break. They break off the vocal folds. Okay. And then you get a node, and nodes are matching in pair. Now, on one side, if you're rough and you get like an abruption, you will get a polyp. Okay. And a polyp is very, very dangerous. And that's what happened to Adele and also Sam Smith. The polyp grows on the bottom side of the vocal fold, which is much more difficult to detect. And it can rupture and bleed out in your throat. And that's what happened to them. Okay, is everybody grossing out right now? Let's see. Let's see. Oh. Ah. I got you. I got you. Thank you, Forever 21, Chico. Yes. So the problem is that we really need to understand how the vocal folds work so that we can protect them because Lord only knows that we do not want to be frying our voice out with a blow dryer, okay, and that air. Now, in the case of John Mayer, he developed what's called granuloma. Granuloma is very, very different. Granuloma develops not on the vocal folds themselves. Granuloma develops here on the arytenoid cartilages on the top. So with nodes, it's in between, right? On the sides here. With polyps, it's on the bottom, only one side. With granulomas, it's on these arytenoid cartilages. These are the cartilages that actually, boom, pull the voice together to create pitch, okay? Depending on the tightness or the looseness, depends on the pitch. So here, there's more air coming through, right? You can hear there's more air coming through, right? Not very breathy at but it's stretching a little bit more. So as the granuloma develops on the top of the arytenoid cartilages and they come together, this is very, very painful. And it feels like you have pebbles in your throat. It hurts to phonate. Okay. Um, they're very, very easy to treat with proper speaking and or steaming, and most importantly getting them removed if they do not respond to proper speaking and steaming treatments. So if yes, worst nightmare for sure. For sure. So those are those issues that do happen, and they do happen with repeated abuse as well. There's other things that happen to the voice. Myself, I have suffered from vocal damage due to intubation, many intubations, but my latest intubation caused me to have bowing, which is another issue where the vocal folds don't come together entirely. They'll make a little bit of a hole, like a flutter, you know, and it makes it difficult sometimes for me to sing those upper notes. Unless I really have my rib cage warmed up and I'm like, okay, I got my placement on. But I've learned to fight back and battle back from that and make it all work, for me over time. So, is there anything here that anybody doesn't understand and wants to kind of revisit really quickly? Because we're going to start with some vocal exercises, well, some warm up exercises. Okay. All right. So, everybody knows the lactic acid situation, right? Mhm. I know it takes like 60 seconds. Pineapple juice. Oh, I love you. Very cute. So, you can just take bromelain, right? You could just like go to the store, like GNC or anywhere, and just like buy bromelain and just like take that. But here's the deal. We're going to go through some stuff. Has anyone ever told you that it's important to cool your voice down? Let me know. Just curiously looking. Okay, I'm going to move into this. Tyree! Oh my God, Tyree, how are you? Shout out. All right. Shout out to Canada in the house. So good to see you again. Oh my goodness. Okay. So so cooling the voice down. Yes. Yes, Rachel, good. Just like you would cool down from a workout at the gym. So a lot of people don't put it together that your voice is sore, right? So say you did a really tough gig and it hurts. And like the last thing that you want to do is get in your car and drive home and be singing, right? But you have to do like a cool down. You have to do it. Okay. And there's a reason for that. At the end of every gym class, you only did a little stretch when you started the class, but at the end of the class, you're doing deep tissue stretching. Okay. You're stretching everything out. You've got the ball, you've got the roller. You are stretching and massaging those muscles. So, say you're on the roller and you put it behind your back, right? And you're just rolling on it, you're pushing the lactic acid out of the muscles. You're allowing fresh blood to come in. You're allowing everything to relax. Okay. You're doing that deep side stretch. That's so important. Okay. And you've got to do some deep breathing because deep breathing releases lactic acid from the muscles, putting it back into the bloodstream, and then you pee it out. We'll talk about that. Not anymore. Yes, indeed. Forever young. Thank you. All right. So, um, I'm going to start with the cool down before I actually do the warm up because it's that important. Everything that we're going to do in the warm up, we're going to do in reverse on the cool down. Okay. So I'll just touch on it briefly. In a cool down, if your warm up was your cool down is going to be like this. Going down. Always on an E or an oo because we are cooling down. We are not opening up to those big vowels. We are cooling down. I'm not going to go up, right? Because I'm not trying to warm the voice up. I'm just going to go back and forth in a very comfortable area of my range on an E or an oo vowel. I prefer E myself. Okay. It's very, very relaxing. Okay. And then I'm going to do the lip trills, right? The lip trills that we're going to do on a warm up, you got to do those on a cool down because all of the tension that's in your face and all in this muscle is handled by those lip trills that have been handed down for centuries. You're going to go, right? Cooling down these muscles, ridding yourself of the tension that's in the jaw and in the face. Okay. Um, so I really, really wanted to touch on that before we actually do the actual warm up. Okay. And we'll get back into that after we do that. So we are going to start um, with deep breathing. Hey, because that's the way you're going to end your day. Okay. What is it? Not to mention the networking after the gig. Oh my goodness. The talking after a gig. That's very tough because talking is very hard on your voice. It's not as hard as whispering, but it's hard. Okay. And the reason why that talking is more difficult and much more harder on the voice is because think about this. Where's my rubber band? Okay. So I'm a vocal fold, right? And I'm coming together to make sound. Okay. So if I'm coming together at exactly the same points every single time, same pitch. So there it's a real small micro movement, right? So say the most of us talk over like a fourth. Okay. So let's say, right? I'm talking to you. Oh, that's really funny. Oh, cool. Yeah, great. We have like 4 or 5 notes that we generally speak in a certain area of a range. That means that the vocal folds are coming together in the same point over and over and over. It's the end of the night. You're tired. You've built up lactic acid. It hasn't cooled down. You think you want to reach for a cool drink. It's going to shock your vocal folds. Don't do it. Okay. It shocks them. It's going to lock the lactic acid in. It's not good for you. Okay. So that repetitive motion causes nodes. That repetitive rubbing on a dry, inflamed vocal fold that is filled with that lactic acid is now your worst enemy, and you're talking and you're networking and you haven't cooled down. Can I get a witness? Yeah. There's a few of you in there who know that. Okay. Tyree, I know you know that. My God, he's a gigging like wild man always. So, what we want to do is if we have to network afterward, do not whisper. I know it's difficult. Take 10 minutes out to go outside, warm down, cool down with some lip trills, massaging of the throat, which we're just about to get into, and all that other stuff. And then yum, 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 yum. Some stuff that we're going to go through for the warm ups. You got to do that stuff to cool it down and then have room temperature water and speak clearly and keep it in your face and keep the conversation short because you do not want to be doing talking after a long gig. Okay. Tyree says, LOL. Yes, maybe. Okay. All right. So, what did I say at the beginning of the class? What's the first thing that we're warming up? Yes, William, warm beverage is awesome. Warm, not hot. And so, if you start with warm, it's so good. And then you end with cool. And it's gradual. It has to be gradual. I was definitely going to get to that. So I do love a warm cup of tea, not a hot cup of tea. It should be drinkable right away with some honey. The honey is an anti-inflammatory, acts like the pineapple juice, the bromelain, all that stuff. Avoid citrus. Okay, citrus is like the enemy. Do not put lemon in your tea unless you have a cold. Okay, it is not good. It's going to dehydrate your vocal folds. Yes, amen, Chi Chi. Um, so start with warm, then room temperature, and then maybe when you're driving home, you can have something that's cool. okay? But don't do like ice, okay? Because it's not good when you have lactic acid buildup. Wait till the next morning to have anything cold. Okay, so what's the first thing I told you? Hold on. My question was, what's the first muscle that we are warming up? Okay, this is a test. First muscle we're warming up. Remember, someone's going to win a free lesson and someone's going to win a free course. Okay, today. Yay. First muscle. First muscle group that we are warming up. I'm waiting. I only said it a few minutes ago. Come on. Okay, ribs, jaw, neck, vocal cords. Thank you, William. All right. You demand a Tyree mask of the face. Okay, we're gonna warm up the mask of the face for sure. But first, we're gonna start with the rib cage. Okay, so let's do this. I know that in my course there are some rib cage exercises that are for training, but this is a warm up. Network issues. Oh my bad. Okay, this is just a warm up. Okay, and this is the same thing that you're gonna do for a cool down, which is why I want you to get used to reversing everything, okay? What you do for a warm up, you reverse for a cool down. So here we go. We are going to start with the rib cage. We're going to do some deep breathing. And I'm going to have you breathe it through your nose, which I never do when teaching you about singing because we all know when we're singing yeah. But this is going to be a slow inhale, okay? So you know where these muscles are on the side of the rib cage, and we're going to put our hands here and looking down just a little bit like that. I want you to breathe in through your nose to full capacity. Ready? One. William, I meditate. you you're a hoot. Okay, I can always count on you for a good joke. Okay, so we're going to breathe in through the nose slowly like this to full capacity and just really feel the expansion. You may feel sore right off the rip. You might be like, wow, I overextended or I popped something or whatever it is, but you're holding it, holding it. Yes, Katrina, intercostal muscles. Excellent. Okay, you have 3 sets in there doing all this work. And now we're going to forcefully blow our air out like this. All the way. How many people did that with me? Come on, tell the truth. I want to see. I'm waiting because we're going to do another one. Okay. Everything that you're doing, you're opening slowly as opposed to quick like that. No, this is a slow burn. Yay, Jessica. Okay, excellent. Here we go. Hands on the side again. Now, breathing in through the nose slowly into the back, full capacity. That's it. Really, really push out. At this point, you should probably be feeling some almost like in the back. Okay, if I could be back there and there was a spine there, you're gonna feel some like a tug. It's almost a little uncomfortable. That's how overly inflated you should be. And now at this time, we are gonna force the air out. Ready? All the way and just relax. Okay, that's your second breath. At the second breath, I want you to take your shoulders and go like this. Okay. These are going backwards. You should feel that in the side of the rib cage. Okay. We're going backwards. This is bringing in fresh blood now to the rib cage. You've got nice fresh air and oxygen in the lungs. You've got a huge stretch here. And now you're going to go like this because that is going to bring in some fresh blood. We're only going backwards for this one. Okay. That's on the second breath. And now I want you to rub on the side of the ribs and in the back like this. Okay. This is like, okay, we're warming these muscles up. Okay, we're ready to do a third one. We're going to be doing 4 of these, okay? So, hands on the side again. We're going to breathe in through the nose. As wide as you think you can. I can really feel this in the center of my back. I got to tell you, I didn't do these exercises before this class. So, we're doing these together, okay? So, and we're counting very, very slowly from 4 down to 1. And we are going to forcefully let the air out evenly, use our abs, push them in. I'm dying. Here we go. Relax the shoulders. Go forward this time with the, okay? Forward, forward, forward with this. All right. Yay. And then we're going to do this again. Okay. Just rubbing that. And this is like great. It's a massage, it's a workout. It's like getting that like presence of mind that we are expanding our rib cage and we are bringing in all this fresh oxygen, getting ready to do the next part of the stretch. Here's the last breath in before we do the actual rib cage stretch. Okay, here we go. Hands on side. We're breathing in slowly, full capacity. That hurts way less on number 4, I have to tell you. 3, 2, 1. Force it all out. And relax. Okay. Now, shoulders are warmed up at the same time that the ribs are warmed up. This is when we start getting the stretch that we want because we don't stretch a muscle until we warm it up, right? So we just warmed up the intercostals. Now we're going to stretch them. Okay. So I like to go with both arms up and over the head like this, as we have done a zillion times, right? And then you got a really, really kind of deep stretch. You can drop one arm. Take this to the point where you really go, oh, I feel the stretch, because it's safe now to do that to the muscle, and just keep it there until you feel like you want to bring it back to center. Okay. So really, really get that side stretch. All right. Your arm is here. You can come back up and exhale when you come up. Okay. It feels good. All right, we're still up there. We're hanging up there. You ready? We're going to go to the other side, and I want you to exhale as you go over. One hand down. Stretch that until you can feel it almost in your hips. Okay. Yeah. And then when you're ready and you feel like you got all of that stretched, you're going to bring it back to center with an exhale. And then bring it down. And guess what? You're going to do a shoulder roll again, but this time both at the same time, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, excellent. Now you're going to do another one of these. You're going to come up to the top. And this time you're going to go all the way forward. I'm not going to do it because I'm sitting in a chair and there's like a computer in front of me, a desk in front of me, and a bunch of stuff behind me. However, I want you to bring your arms up. And I want you to take your hands and point them to the floor and go all the way down. I want you to get a really deep stretch in that lower back and lower rib cage. Okay, take it all the way to the floor. You can bend your knees slightly and really breathe into it while you're down there. Breathe into that rib cage. Ready? And then as you roll up, you're going to just roll up. Keep your head down as you roll up, and then exhale all the way to the top. And then let your arms go. Okay. So you have warmed up your shoulders, you have warmed up your rib cage, and you have stretched your rib cage. Okay. And shoulders. Now you begin to feel a stretch, then you know it's working or you're falling apart. Yeah, I guess, that can really depend on what day it is too. Like, some days we're like, oh, this feels great. And other days it's like, I'm getting old. All right. William is the comedian in our group today. All right, so we are moving on now to our face and our neck. Okay, so as I showed you earlier, there is a ton of stuff going on here in the neck, and all of these muscles surround our beautiful larynx and our windpipe. And these muscles can get really, really, really tense. Okay. So we want to be able to relax them. So since we're starting from the bottom and we're going to the top, here we are with the neck. Okay. So I really want you guys to feel under here, right under here. This is, remember the jaw I told you that is really, really not relaxed and it needs to be relaxed. We're going right underneath it and we're going on this part here. And I just want you to go along the jawline with a gentle, gentle circular motion. Okay. Into the center underneath where the tongue is. I know you can't believe that's the tongue, but your tongue is right here. Okay. And then you're going to put your hand back there. You're not going to go back like this. You're going to put your hand back and you're going to come forward again. Oh, I had a little pinch there. Yeah, there's some tension there. Okay. Okay. And it's really gentle. Please do not be like kneading it like dough. It's really way more gentle than that. Okay. All right. Now I'm actually going back. And then I'm going to come forward again. Okay. Okay. And this time I want you to flatten your fingers like this. And I want you to go like this to the bottom of your chin, which is your tongue. And you're relaxing your tongue, which I can't really tell because I'm talking at the same time. Okay. All right. Now I'm going back here. I'm bringing it down a little bit. I'm keeping the backs of my fingers here and I'm going on the sides of my larynx. I am not going on the larynx itself. Do not do that. Okay. So, and then I'm going to go backward a little bit. I'm still using the backs of my fingers and I'm going to bring it up. Yeah. And then I'm going to bring it down. These earrings are not helping the situation at all, but they certainly look good. Hey. Okay. All right. Now I am getting a little bit lower. And I've done the whole thing. I'm going to just one more time up to the back. Oh, and I can start to really feel it right here. Okay, I know there's tension in there, but I'm warming up the muscle by doing this massage. Okay. Okay. We've done all of that with the backs of our fingers now, right? Take your hands like this very gently. I want you to move your larynx side to side. Do not talk while doing this. You see that moving? I can talk while doing this because I've done it a million times. But if you feel clicking, that's tension. Okay. It needs to be massaged, it needs to come back and forth. It's gentle. Okay. So now all of that, okay, is going to be done like this. You're going to take your fingers and now you're just going to loosen stuff up. Okay. Loosen it up. Just loosen it up. Draw your hands down like this. Ooh, that feels good. I like that part. La, 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 la. That feels good. That feels good. Okay. I feel a lot more relaxed. Now here comes the stretch. Why? Because we warmed up the muscle. So we're going to stretch the neck muscle now. Taking one hand, you're going to rest it on your head. Do not pull, okay? I want you to put your arm out and I want you to just allow the weight of your hand to rest on your head and then move back a little bit. You can feel that stretch there. This doesn't take a long time, but it's so important. This is even really good for your arm too, okay? When you feel like you got that stretch, I want you to take your hand off of your head and then bring your head back up to center, okay? That's the stretch. Going to reverse that. You're just going to place your hand here, not push at all, and then just lean and let your hand rest for that neck stretch. That's it. Oh, yeah. Excellent. Yay. Now you're going to do what? You're going to do a head roll. I cannot wear these earrings and do a head roll. Okay. So here's the next stretch, right? We've gone from here to here. We're just going to go back, go to the side. Ooh, did anyone hear that crack? Raise your hand if you did. Bring your head down, chin down, head over to the side. Okay. And then come back. Second one is reverse that, please. Okay. We're going to start by going backward and we're going to go to the right first. Yep. Keep going. Break down all the way with that chin and all the way around and then up. Now you're warmed up, right? From here to here. Now we're going to relax the face with the massage. Okay. Then we're going to relax the face even further with some lip trills. And then we're going to warm up our voice. All right, here we go, guys. Any questions? Who feels better? Who's ready to sing now that like the muscles are warm? See how easy this is? It's not like a big deal. This doesn't take a lot of time. Who's Come on, I need some love in the chat. I need some love. Love in the chat. Where's Tyree? There you are. Okay, good. Very good. Okay. So face, 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 face. Let's go back to our jaw. Okay. The jaw is that muscle that's super, super tight all the time. Thank you for the love, Jessica. All right. Again, I want you to clench your teeth together and feel just how uncomfortable everything is when you do that. It's really, really tight. Okay. Now, I want you to take your finger here and let it go. All of those muscles, and I mean all of those muscles. Let's talk about it. We just massaged this entire neck and we massaged under here. We grabbed our larynx and we loosened it up, and then we gave everything the stretch, right? Now we're here in the face. Okay. So, this being the strongest muscle in the body, right? This and the diaphragm, this guy needs to relax. These muscles here shape the face. This muscle here does the lip trills and it's all connected here. So, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of tension in the face. And without it being relaxed, you know how tight your face can get? You know how your jaw can like get tightened up because everything's tight. Well, if everything's tight, how are you going to be like, yo, this is great? Right? You're gonna be like, that's not good. I had a session with a singer yesterday, a really good vocalist, by the way. But she kept tensing her jaw and be like, and I'm like, what about ah? Okay, everything lazy. Okay. All right, here we go. So we're massaging our jaw. Okay, just right here at the pivot. I want you to massage it. All right. Now we're above the jawline. Before we were doing underneath, we're just going down the jawline. Oh, I can feel some really tense muscles right here. Okay. And I'm just going to like rub them out and I'm like, I can feel it. It's really, for me, it's like mostly there. This feels pretty good here. Not a lot of tension. Okay. Not bad. Okay. Now I want to do here, the mask. Okay. Where all of this stuff gets tense like this. Okay. That squeezes your sound in a completely different way. So you're going to want to do this. This is called tapping. I want you to tap right here. Feels good. It also empties your sinuses too. Okay. So tap, 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 all in here. This is how we relax those muscles. Tap, 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 adding fingers. This is light. Please don't be punching yourself in the face. Okay. This is really easy. And then bring it down, 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 bring it down. Go up, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Go up and bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Now, rest your hand on your chin and drop your jaw. How's that feel? Feel open? Just that little amount of stuff. You are ready to sing. Okay? How's everybody feel about that? Yeah, we don't think about that, but we really need to do it. So when you are done singing, what are you going to do? You're going to start with the vocal cool down because right now we're going to do the vocal warm up. And then you're going to relax all the muscles again. And then you're going to do your deep breathing and close your exercise. So you're reversing exactly what we're doing here today. Okay. So, um, like I said, we're not going to stretch right away. Right. So I like to do mask stuff. So Tyree, when you mentioned earlier, I'm going to warm up the mask of the face first. You're right. When it comes to a vocal warm up, it's the mask of the face first. So I definitely wanted to give you creds on that because um, when it comes to all the muscles, no, we have to do the physical warm up first. But when it comes to the voice itself, yes, we want to do the mask. So we're going to do ma. Okay. Everything's going to be Mia, Mia, right? Mia, Mia. Okay, so there's going to be two M's. Mia, Mia, and then just a couple A's. Mia, Mia. And we just go yum, 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 right? It's kind of like in that face. And we are going to wind up slowing this down. But right now, I want to give you some movement because what are we doing? A little bit of jump rope, right? Before we stretch. Okay. All right. So here comes the next one. I'm going to go down pretty low. So if it's something that you're not comfortable with, just hold on a second. Mia, 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 Mia. I like to hum in between too because I really like to get that mask warmed up. So I'll be like, Mia, 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 Mia. I can feel my face starting to relax. Yay. Mia, 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 Mia. And we're not going to use a lot of range on this. Just keep going. Mia, 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 Mia. Going back down. Mia, 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 Mia. Okay, so we get a little bit of that ma. Now we're gonna go stretching it like this. This is another way to do it. Mia. Okay. Mia. Again with that M in the front. Mia. And the cool thing is you can change your vowels. We can go to O like this. Mo. And here's the next one. Mo. And it's nice and relaxing. We're going to do an A. Mea. So it's these little micro um, kind of changes that you're doing on something that's really simple. We're working with three notes, right? So first we had a double like Mia on one note, Mia, Mia, right? Now we have Mia. It doesn't take a lot. You just kind of have to move through it. You know, I'm working three notes, right? But I want the mask of my face warmed up. So I want to use that M. And then I want to use all of my vowels, right? So what if I want to go like moo, right? Mea. And what about me? Mia. Now, what if I want to do like an I, right? I want to go my. Yeah. I want to get all of those vowels just kind of swirling around over those three notes because now I know that there's blood that's and fresh oxygen that's in my throat right now with just that little amount. Then I'm going to spread this out into a fifth, right? Because we've done the three notes. Now we're ready to do the five notes. We're still not ready to do a simple stretch. Why? Because a stretch is a split. Okay. We want to warm up before we do that split. So we're doing the push-ups, the what do you call that? The squats and the pull-ups right now, right? So let's doing it over a fifth. We're gonna go Mia Mia. No, I don't want to do that. Mia Mia Mia. That one. Okay. That's in my course, so some of you know it, and or if you've trained with me, you know that one anyways. Okay. So here we're going back down. Mia. It's a double strike on that first one. It's the same note. Mia Mia Mia. So I got the steps and I got the slide down. Mia, Mia, Mia. Mia, Mia, Mia. Now you can change this and you can be like, Moe. Ah. You can do whatever you want. Any vowel is on the table for you at this point. Mea, mea, mea. I did all A's on that one. Mea, mea, mea. I'm going to go back to E for the next one just for fun. Mea, mea, mea. Now on this one, I'm going to change it to going down. Mia, 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 which is a really great relaxing one to cool down with. Anything that goes in a downward direction, we're going to talk about that when we get to the cool down. Here comes the next one. Mia, mia, mia. So make sure that you're not going me. You don't push that M out. It's just like that. You know, like the simplest warm up you can do when you're really, really tired would be like a me, just like using different vowels and kind of pulling it all in your face. But when you want to warm up and you want to keep yourself from pushing, you're using that M to be like a mia, mia, mia. It should never be harder than that. Mia, mia, mia. Mia, mia, mia. Mia, mia, mia. Going down. Good, nice and easy. Mia, mia, mia. Mia, mia, mia. Mia, mia, mia. Something so simple as that. Those three parts going from a third to a fifth and then going from going up to going down. You've done your squats, your push ups, and your pull ups. And now you can really start to train or stretch your voice. Okay. So at this point, you would take the same fifth, right? And instead of going mia, 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 right? You're going to go, yeah. And I know you guys know these simple stretches, but this is the point now where you're on the floor, stretch it out. Okay. You really want to get that. Yeah. Simple, simple stretch. I'm going to give you something really fun. Yeah. And if it's getting louder, it's not warming up. Okay. Keep it easy. As you go through your range, if you feel like you're not warmed up enough or you're like, say, maybe having a problem with crossing over, I need you to get that out of your head and start touching. Remember this. E will keep you from panicking when you do crossover because E hides the crossover. Remember that because exposes it. So it might freak you out. So you might say, well, I'll stay in E because I don't want to freak out, right? E. It could also be ooh like this. Ooh, because this is the stretch part of the warm up, right? And then go back down. Yes, back down. Yes. We just got to do a couple more and then I'm going to show you something else. Last one. Okay. That's officially like, okay, now it's okay to sing. Now it's okay to train. Now it's okay to get into the other stuff because it's all warmed up. So now, say I've just done this really long performance. It's the end of the night. I was the only singer on stage all night with a rock band, and my voice is killing me. First thing I'm going to do when I get off the stage, I'm going to do that stretch, but I'm only going to do it in a downward direction. I'm going to go. Yeah, I know I'm starting high because it's a cool down. I'm not starting low. I'm going to end low. E is so gentle. E and oo for the cool down. Always. I recommend always. I'm not going to go up because it's not a warm up. It's a cool down. Right? So, and then what am I going to do? I'm going to do meow, meow, meow. Or here's what I'm going to do. Meow, meow, meow. That's going to be the second one. Always going down. Meow, meow, meow. Going down. Meow, meow, meow. Taking it all the way down. Meow, meow, meow. Oh my gosh, your voice is going to thank you for this so much. Meow, meow, meow. And then maybe when you finally get down to the low notes, you're just going to go, meow. You're just going to do 2 or 3 cool down exercises just like that. So you're just going in reverse. Instead of stretching it up, you're bringing it back down. Okay. And then what are you going to do? You're going to massage your face and your jaw and your neck. And then what are you going to do? You're going to do deep breathing exercises. Why? Because deep breathing releases lactic acid anywhere in the body, including the vocal folds, and you're going to have something warm to drink and anything else like that. So basically, that's kind of everything about warming up and warming down and why and how not to injure your voice because that's what you need to do. So, who has questions? Any vocal question. It doesn't even have to be about warming up, it can be anything. Hello? Crickets? Did you guys leave me? Okay, everybody. Well, that's everything in a nutshell about warming up and cooling down. Okay, I can't think of any questions, but I'm gonna let you know if I have any. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah. I mean, it's really simple. Just whatever you do for your warm up, you exactly reverse it for your cool down. Okay. And your voice will feel so much better. I promise you. And if you wake up with a sore voice, warm it up, man. That's the best thing you can do. Okay. I'm signing off for now because I'm pretty hungry. I love you, Chi Chi. You're the queen to me. Okay. We're each other's queens. We have queen energy. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Thank you, William. Thanks, Jessica. Tyree, oh my goodness, I missed you and I thought like you dropped off the planet. So it's great that you're back. And yes, yay. I can't wait to see you in a lesson, Tyree. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is email me at info at your perfect voice and say warm up challenge. And I'm going to pick somebody for a free lesson. Gucci. I'll see you next week. Next week, we are going to go through, well, I haven't decided whether I want to do, no, I think I just decided. Yes. Next week, we're going to talk about placement and we're going to do some examples with Ariana Grande and Demi Lovato and a few other things to just talk about like everything that's kind of covered in module 3 of the course, and what makes it so easy to sing when you're doing and placing in the natural spot and you're taking all of the pushing out of it. And so we'll just do like a couple of cool example things and listen to some people. And I love you too, Katrina. And yeah, and then I want you to you can chime in with like cool singers that you would like to break down some stuff and some placement on. And you can email that to me and I will put that in the course and in the class rather, my bad, and actually demonstrate that for you. And we'll do it that way. Yay. All right, y'all. Peace out. Stay safe. And I'll see you next week.